The haves and the have-nots is back, y'all. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow the information I have in the description box, as well as like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Excuse me, I've been under the weather lately, but this is the Haves and the Have-Nots, Season 8, Episode 1. And the name of this episode is Are You Happy? Well, pretty much this episode was just connecting the dots, you know, but there was one shocking moment, and I can't wait to tell y'all about it, but let's begin. The episode picks up where it left off at Season 7's finale. The police arrive at the choir residence. Wyatt, with his junky ass, you know, with the damn rifle, says they're dead, and one of the police shoots him. But I think they only shot him with a dummy bullet or like a tranquilizer because Wyatt wasn't dead. So they arrest him and they put Wyatt in the car. Meantime, George and Wyatt start talking. They go back and forth. And while in the conversation, even though Wyatt is definitely spinning because you know he did all these drugs and now he done shot his parents, this motherfucker admits that he shot Amanda. And I don't even know if George caught it, but I was like, oh, so Amanda was murdered by Wyatt. And the fact that Wyatt just did this shit, I could believe it. So then he starts talking about, George asks him, where are your parents? And he tells him that they're dead. Yeah, I shot them. Who's got the last laugh now, bitches? I'm like, oh, God. So the police go and they search the place and they find both Jim and Catherine. So that goes on. Then we get a scene with Veronica. Veronica goes into her house, starts, oh, my husband and my son is gone. And like doing like her little fake moaning because she done had these goons go over to shoot up David and Jeffrey, and she think that it's all well and good. She up there doing her little fake moaning and shit, and then she gets a call, and it's one of the guys, and he pretty much says that, look, why didn't you tell me that these guys were ready? And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? She says that they were ready for us. I'm like, yeah, because they know her crazy ass. And then he says that two of the guys got killed. One of them was my brother. And he pretty much is telling Veronica, like, Veronica, you need to get your ass down here to this hospital right now. And she's like, who the hell you think you're talking to? He's like, Veronica, I got a lot of shit on you. Don't fuck with me. Get your ass down to this hospital. So her ass like, oh, fine, I'll go see what the little asshole want. I'm like, Veronica is just walking around nonchalant like you just did not commit capital murder. Like when you sent those goons over there to shoot up, you know, David and Jeffrey's house. So that shit's crazy. And the little goon guy is played by Andre Fuller. Shout out to him. We don't get his name this episode, but I think he's gonna be playing a major role because I think he's gonna be somewhat of an antagonist against Veronica eventually, because you know Veronica's a messy bitch. So we got that going on. Then we see David and Jeffrey. David is like, David got guns out blazing and shit, and then he's checking to see if Jeffrey's okay. Jeffrey's fine too. Neither one of them got hit. So all these bullets went in. David and Jeffrey didn't get hit at all. And then all of a sudden, Jeffrey calls the police. And then all of a sudden, Jeffrey looks down and sees one of the guys down. He's like, is he dead? And then all of a sudden, that damn David trigger happy as shit. He's like, he is now, you son of a bitch. I was like, oh shit. David is ready, baby. He ready. And he was ready to go over to Veronica's house and say, I'm gonna blow this bitch head off. And Jeffrey stopped him. He's like, no, Dad, don't do this. And he's like, no. It's one thing for her to come after me, but she tried to kill you. You're her only child, and the fact that she would do this to you, oh, this really pisses me off. And Jeffrey, in his old simple ass, was like, well, why don't we just try to get her arrested? You did that, and how the fuck did that work out? Dumbass. And then, like, but then David was like, ain't no police gonna be able to hold her. And then, Jeffrey was like, well, fine, we just had to get something that'll stick. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. So we see that Candace is watching television, and we see that Charles is literally on TV trying to clean his name in his involvement with Candace. And Candace is just watching it like she's watching the soaps. And then, Hannah comes in and she says, you don't need to be looking at that. And she was like, and like, Candace and her go back and forth. And Hannah tells Candace, and the thing about it, I actually like them in this space where they're kind and, they're kind and generous to one another. I actually like this Hannah and Candace. Like, it's a total flip than what we've been seeing from them since season 1. And pretty much, Hannah tells Candace, like, look, you need to get better, honey. And the only way you're going to get better is that you got to separate yourself from the things that make you sick. And Candace was like, yeah, but things were so much better when I was cold as hell. But she was like, but were you happy, though? And Candace was like, well, it was exciting. She's like, yeah, but were you happy? And pretty much Candace actually admitted, no, I wasn't happy. And we all know that. I mean, when you constantly have to, go from one bad situation to the next, yeah, you may be getting away with a lot of shit. And yeah, we was kind of rooting, Candace was a bad bitch. But Candace had a lot of hurt and pain that she was suppressing. And that shit was eating away at her ass. We saw it. So we knew that Candace wasn't happy. No one's happy goes out of their way to bring misery to other people. So, but, so pretty much, Candace asks Hannah, like, how do you do it? Cause she's like, after all, we're living in this place. This ain't even your house, and you're just calm, and yet things somehow move in your favor. How do you do it? And, Hannah admits that, the Lord has always provided. And she says, I never wanted a mansion or a fancy car. I liked my little house in the hood, I like living around my own people. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm like, shout out to you, girl. But then pretty much, Candace, while talking to her, begins to ask her, maybe I need to talk to Derek. Maybe there's like a bad gene that I have, or maybe because it was me watching you work for rich people made me want that life so badly that I was willing to do anything to get it. But she says that, I think I want to talk to Derek. She says, okay, fine, I'll give you the number to Derek, but I don't want to see him. So we're going to see what's going to happen when she reaches out to Derek. Because we see later on that, yeah, her and Derek do talk. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out. But I'm glad that Hannah and Candace are in a good place. Then we get a scene after Charles has finished doing his interview on television. We see he's with Oliver. And Oliver is kind of beefing him up like, man, social media is popping, and they are all rooting for you, saying like, why don't you just let this man live his life? He done been through enough and all that. And then Charles asks him, what are they saying about Candace? He's like, oh, we're not going to worry about that. It is what it is. You shouldn't even worry about that. What's main important is that now you have an ability to start over again and all that. And then once Oliver leaves, Charles contemplates calling Candace. So it's really apparent he's in love with her. And we can see that Candace has a place in her heart for him too. But Candace right now feels jaded and pissed off because, he literally just threw her away to save his career. But as soon as Oliver goes outside, he runs into Landon. I'm like, Landon then finally came back. And Oliver and Landon there's a lot of tension there because Oliver's like, he don't want to talk to you. He already told me to fire you. And he says, why the hell did he tell you to fire me? He says, because you didn't kill the story. He's like, you know what? I just think you would do anything because you want my job, you son of a bitch. And he said, I'm not going anywhere. I want to talk to the president. He was like, fine, I'll go get him. So Oliver goes in there and tells Charles that Landon wants to speak to him. He agrees to talk to Landon. And then like Landon comes in and they kind of, they're kind of like, exchanging, hi, how are you? How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Like, just this little dancing around the bush shit. And then Landon just asked, like, you fired me, sir? And he was like, you had nothing to do with what happened to Candace? And he was like, I thought I told you to clean her up. And Landon was like, I did. I thought we did. And then all of a sudden, Charles goes to try to take off Landon's shoes, and I'm like, okay, Charlie, what the fuck is going on here? I'm looking like, oh. And then it's just him playing mind games with fucking Landon. And I'm like, see, Charles is an asshole for that shit. And he's like, I'm lonely. And now that she's not here, now I can spend time with you. But then, like, Landon's like, but you love and want her. And he's like, yeah, just like you love and want me. I'm like, see, this is the bullshit right here. He's like, do I need to call Ellen? And then Landon was like, call Ellen for what? He's like, well, didn't you tell her that you was in love with me? Yeah, I know all about it. Uh-huh. He's like, look, I agree, sir. You are a likable man. And then Charles was like, likable or lovable? Charles is an asshole for this shit. And pretty much he was like, so the fact that you were in love with me is the reason why you set this up. And he was like, no, the attorney general called me and told me he had all this information on Candace, and there was nothing I could do. And he said, you didn't even try. He's like, what could I do? He had everything on her, and it was out of my hands. And he was like, so you really are gonna fire me? And he was like, oh yeah, your ass is fired. You're done. And when I'm busy putting all my energy and running this country, I'm gonna put the same amount of energy destroying you. And I know that alone will scare you to death. I was like, oh, Charles, you evil motherfucker. Because it wasn't Landon's fault. If it wasn't for Candace robbing that little punk-ass attorney general in the hotel, that's what started the whole thing. Because he wants to get back at Candace. So then Landon goes back outside and him and Oliver go back and forth. And it was like queens were literally throwing jabs at each other. I mean, it was just too fucking funny. They was just going back and forth and shit. And pretty much Landon was like, I better get my job back. Because if I don't, I will do everything I can to destroy you, Oliver, and you won't be able to get a job anywhere except in your mom and pa's diner. Mommy and daddy won't be able to save you then. And he was like, ooh, such idle threats, huh? And like and like Landon was like, look, you already know I'm not gonna take nothing lying down. Not like you like to. He's like, man, just go home, Buttercup. I was like, these two queens are a mess. And they fighting for a position with Charles. So I'm like, Charles, what's really going on with you, bitch, that you got these two whores after you? Yeah, because they was like throwing so much jabs, and even before Landon went in there, he pretty much told Oliver, and why don't you go ahead and get a damn haircut? Who the hell's gonna be in a White House with a mullet? Jeez. I'm like, Landon is so damn shady, and so is damn Oliver. Let them both going back and forth. I was like, look at these. I'm sitting there like, look at these damn queens. Just going back and forth over getting close to the president. So I'm kind of thinking like, Oliver, you got a thing for Charles too? Okay, we just got to keep that rolling. So then we go back to the hospital. You got Keisha and Madison. The damn buzzer's going off, and it's Justin with his simple punk ass. And Keisha was like, it's your go. And he's like, I don't want to deal with him. You know what I went through. She's like, yeah, but I already went. It's your turn to go. So go in there and handle that. So Madison goes in there to check on Justin. Justin's asking for more pills, and he was like, the doctor just gave you pain medicine 2 hours ago. And he's like, but please, I'll pay you anything. I got $11,000 in my pocket. It's yours. Just give me the pills and I'll give you the money. And then he's like pretty much saying that he wants to die. Like, just let me get these pills. I don't have anything else to live for. And pretty much Madison was like, look, maybe we need to get you a psych eval, but I'm not giving you no medicine. And then he's saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here it is, you're being nice to me, and all I did was do everything mean to you, like fucked up your car and all of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Madison goes out to leave or whatever. And he goes back to the front desk with Keisha. He calls a psych eval for Justin, you know. And then Keisha kind of points out, you really feel bad for him, don't you? And she was like, yeah, it's my job. I'm a nurse. But then again, yeah. And then, like, even Keisha said that, I feel bad for the guy. He's been through a lot. I'm like, yeah, I mean, he lost his mom. He's lost his wife and his child. And he's lost his job. So, really, he is literally pulling at strings and he ain't got nothing to lose, which makes him very dangerous. So then all of a sudden, while Keisha and Madison are talking, Veronica comes up and, starts her shit with Madison. And he was like, what can I do for you, Miss Harrington? She was like, well, what you need to do is fix your foundation, bitch. And I was like, Veronica is so damn evil, but it's laughable at the same time. And then she was like, and then all of a sudden, Keisha was like, ma'am, how can we help you? And she's like, wow, just look at affirmative action. We got 2 girls running the hospital. And then all of a sudden, when she all of a sudden the goon comes in and gets Veronica's attention. So they go off, and then Madison is like, I hate her so much. And then Keisha was like, I like her though. And he's like, what? And she's like, in a kind of hate way. I'm like, just like us, we love and we hate Veronica. So then Veronica and the goon, who's played by Andre Fuller, they start talking, going back and forth. He lets her know that, look, Randy and Tyrone, they're dead. And they had kids. And she's like, why the hell you telling me this for? You think I give a damn about some thugs that are dead? And he was like, you know what? You could at least, pay for their funerals and everything like that. And she was like, I ain't paying for no damn funeral. You brought me all the way down here to the hospital to waste my damn time? Are you fucking serious? And she was like, but then again, I could pay for one casket, and then maybe I can talk to the funeral home about getting a 2-for-1 deal. I was like, you evil bitch. Oh my goodness. Then she says, oh, but won't you come with me? They go into Justin's room, and she goes in there taunting Justin and everything, and and pretty much Madison comes and tells her, like, look, visiting hours are over. You need to get out of here. Miss Harrington, I'm telling you now, get out of here. Like, you need to leave. And she's like, yeah, and you need injections. And you also need this job, don't you? I mean, I do know the board members. I mean, you do need this job. And but then the goon was like, look, let's just leave Veronica. So she decides to leave, but before she leaves, she gives him like, oh yes, I have a number to my friend. She really does very good Botox injections. And oh yeah, right up there in your forehead, yeah, you need to call her. I'm like, you evil bitch. Oh, Veronica's a mess. So then we see that Mitch calls Benny. He wants to go out and, toast up the town, and he pretty much continue to remind Benny, you owe me. But then he asks, what is Candace up to? See if she wants to come. But then we go back to the hospital. Veronica is walking in the hallway, and guess who the fuck appears? Motherfucking Celine! We have not seen Celine since season 3 or season 4. I mean, it's been multiple seasons. Like, Celine just dropped off the face of the planet after Jim screwed her and told her that he wasn't going to give her but a few $100s for that bastard that they had, when yet they had 2 kids. She's working as a janitor at the hospital. I was like, yo, Tyler, you brought back Celine. What? And Veronica, in her typical fashion, stops Celine. And she's like, you ain't here working as a janitor? Why? She's like, I have to make a living. That's what people's like. But no, boo-boo, you're missing this. Why are you working a graveyard shift at a hospital when you got 2 gold mines sitting at home with you? She's like, I can help you get them. And she's like, and she gets her a number, and then all of a sudden, when Celine walks away, she's like, oh, you missed a spot. You need to mop there. Come on, girl, mop, mop, mop. You can mop or you can call me. Which one you gonna do? I'm like, yo, Veronica is a damn mess. Oh shit. So then we see that Benny tries to talk to Candace and about, going out to hang out with him and Mitch. She says, nah, I'm going to stay here. And she says that, why your shoes sitting over there? She's like, because my shoes are sitting over there. She's like, you plan on running, aren't you? And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to get his money back and just, do what I got to do. And she was like, look. And Benny's like, look, it's not too late. You can run and start over. So just run, take this money and go start over. And then he was like, or you can just be an idiot and give back the $8 million. I'm like, Benny, you are the last person to call somebody a fucking idiot, because the only idiot around this bitch is you. I'm like, bruh, you just, if it wasn't for Mitch, the mob was about to have your head. Jim done stabbed your ass up, and yet you still on the bullshit. So, all of a sudden, while they talking, they look on television, they see that they're reporting at the Cryer residence that it was a triple shooting and that they got the coroner's van, here. So obviously there may be a dead body on the scene. So we just gonna have to see how they gonna play with this. But yeah, I am so ready. So that's where the episode ended. Get down in those comments if I missed anything. Let me know your thoughts about tonight's episode. I'm so happy that HAHN is back. And I can't wait to see what happens next week. So until next time, everybody, take care.